السلام عليكم. Today بإذن الله I will complete speaking about our course about advanced cost accounting for 4th year accounting department and customs and financial studies department. This is my lecture number 10, and today I will begin in the second part in our course, sales variances analysis. If you remember, one of our activities if you are a manager is how to control. The first part in our course was about how to control the costs according to standard costing, and we have finished speaking about how to control direct material and direct labor and manufacturing overhead and the reasons for these variances and who is responsible for these variances. Today I will complete speaking about control also, but controlling sales. How can you control your sales? Don't forget, if I am a company, the continuity of a company depends on achieving its targets. One of our targets is realize income. And in managerial accounting, if you remember, we began speaking about budgets, and the first step to set the budgets for your company is setting sales budget. Again, the first and important step is setting sales budget. So the sales budget is very, very important, and here in our part of this course we will analyze sales variances analysis. I mean, we will compare between the budgeted sales and the actual sales and analyze the reasons of these variances. So this is the second part, or the second extreme of controlling. The first, I control the cost, but today I will control or analyze sales variances. Firstly, you have to keep in your mind that when we calculate variances, any variance, the main equation of any variance, actual minus standard, or actual minus budgeted. When I speak about cost, if actual more than standard for cost, we say it's unfavorable, because the increase of actual cost means indirectly decrease in income. And also, if I speak about actual cost less than standard, less than what should be, so it means I have decrease in cost. Decrease in cost means increase in income, so we say it's favorable variance. Again, increase in cost unfavorable, decrease in cost favorable. But today we will analyze not cost variances but sales variances. Sales, do you remember? Sales revenue. So what about if I have increase in revenue? Increase in cost unfavorable. But what about increase in revenue? If I have increase in revenue, it means increase in income. So increase in revenue, increase in income. So if I have increase here from sales variances point of view, we don't say if I have positive difference between sales revenue actually and budget sales revenue, we can say it's unfavorable like cost, but we will say it's favorable. Very important. Again, very important, because the relationship between costs and income is negative, but the relationship between revenues and income is positive. So increase in revenues means increase in net income. So from variances point of view, we say favorable. But if I have decrease in revenue, again, decrease in revenue means decrease in net income. Here we will say unfavorable. Again, unfavorable. So in your exam in future, بإذن you have to concentrate firstly. You analyze the cost variances or you analyze sales revenue variances, okay? Because different meaning of signs, positive or negative, I mean favorable and unfavorable, okay? Today we will speak about sales variances. So the positive will be favorable and the negative will be unfavorable, okay? How to analyze your sales variances? To analyze sales variances, I can use two kinds of information to analyze the sales variances. Firstly, I can use sales price, or I can concentrate or focus on sales price or sales revenue. The second way to analyze sales variances, concentrating on contribution margin. Again, contribution margin. You know what I mean by contribution margin. The first, concentrate on sales price, I mean the revenue. But the second, concentrate on contribution margin. Don't forget contribution margin. Do you know? Do you remember? Yes. Contribution margin is the difference between sales price minus variable cost. Yes, variable cost. Okay. So this part of variance analysis will be divided into two parts. The first one, I will use sales price to analyze sales variances, or I use contribution margin. Let's begin now by the first part. Yes, my first part is sales variances analysis using sales price. Again, using sales price. I will compare between analyzing costs, if you remember, and analyzing sales. If you know the variances of costs, you will know 100%. It will be very, very simple for you to analyze sales variances, okay? The first level of analyze is to calculate budget variance, or what we say sales variance. Again, budget variance. Budget variance like the total variance in cost. Any variance, don't forget, I compare between actual minus standard. I will say actual minus standard when I speak about costs, but when I speak about sales, I will say actual minus budgeted. The budget here is our standard or our plan. Okay? Firstly, I will calculate budget variance, and budget variance here I will concentrate on revenue, so will be the difference between actual sales revenue and budget sales revenue. So you have to know how to calculate actual sales revenue and budget sales revenue. Okay? This is the total variance of sales. What are the reasons? If I can say the first level of analysis is calculating budget variance, what about the next levels of sales variance analysis? Okay, we can assume that we have 4 levels to analyze sales variances. Again, 4 levels. The first one is calculating budget. Again, the first one is calculating budget variance. What about the second level? In the second level, I will analyze budget variance to 2 sub-variances. The first one, sales price variance. Again, sales price variance. And the second, sales volume variance. Again, sales volume variance. So the total of sales price and sales volume must equal budget variance. It is not new. Okay, again, the first level, we calculate budget variance. I will explain how to calculate each kind of variances, okay? But today, let me speak about the full map of analyzing sales variances, okay? In the third level, we reanalyze sales volume. Again, sales volume into 2 kinds of variances. The first one, sales mix variance. Again, sales mix variance. And the second one, sales quantity variance. Sales quantity variance. So the total of mix and the quantity variances must equal sales volume variance. You have to know, maybe I give you sales volume and I give you sales mix. You have to know the difference between them will equal sales quantity, okay? Very important. The last level of analyzing is reanalyze the quantity variance into 2 kinds of variances also here. Market size variance and market share variance. This is my map to analyze sales variances. Again, 4 levels. The first one, calculate the total budget variance or total sales variance, and then analyze what are the reasons for this variance. Maybe the price, maybe volume here, like quantity in direct material variance analysis. In level 3, we will analyze the volume to mix and quantity. If you remember, in 4-way analysis for direct material, we analyze the quantity variance to mix and yield variance. Here we don't say mix and yield variance, we say mix and quantity variance. Okay, and the last level of analyzing, we will analyze the quantity variance or sales quantity variance, I mean, to market size variance and market share variance. How to calculate these variances and how to reanalyze each one. It will be through our example. Okay, this example, according to this example, I will analyze sales variances using sales price. Okay, Here I have ABC company, which has 3 kinds of products, X1, X2, X3, and the following its information about the budget and operating results. This is my actual and budget data. Again, actual and budget for X1, X2, and X3. Selling price per unit for X1 actual 190, but for example budget for X1 180. Variable cost per unit is 155 actually, budgeted 150. The difference between selling price and variable cost, yes, contribution margin for X1 for example 35, here 30, and sales units, my actual sales units, the total of them 5,500, and my budgeted total sales units 5,000 for X1, X2, and X3. And here I have actual industry sales units. Actual industry I speak about the market sales. Actual 137,500 units, it's the market, but my actual as a company 5,500. Also budgeted industry sales units, budgeted here for the market. How can you calculate the variances of sales? The first one, if you remember, budget variance. The second, I analyze budget to sales price and sales volume. In the third level, I analyze volume to mix and quantity. In last level, I analyze quantity to market size and market share. Okay? How can you calculate these variances? Very simple. If you remember the equations of calculating variances in standard costing, like direct material. Again, like direct material. Okay? The first step in any variance analysis, I told you before, the first and very important step in any variance analysis, regardless I speak about analyze cost variances or analyze sales variances, I have to calculate my information or my data. Firstly, this is my table, 2 parts if you remember, one of them for actual and the second for budget. When I speak about cost, one of them actual and the second is standard. Here I have, when I speak about sales, for actual I need actual sales, actual price, and actual sales revenue. If you remember, direct material, actual quantity, actual price, actual cost. Here I don't speak about cost, I speak about sales. So I need actual sales, actual price of sales, and actual sales revenue. I don't speak about cost here. For budget also, instead of actual, I will use budget. So budgeted sales, budgeted price, and budgeted sales revenue. Okay? Here I have 3 kinds of products, X1, X2, and X3. If I go back to my problem, I have actual sales and actual price, and have also budgeted sales and budgeted price. This is my given information. So it's very simple. If I have actual sales and actual price, I can get actual sales revenue. Also, if I have budgeted sales, budgeted price, I can calculate budgeted sales revenue. Okay? For example, how much is actual sales revenue for X1? Yes, multiply. Actual sales here, 3,000. 0.25, and my actual price 190. So yes, this is my actual sales revenue for X1. I will repeat the same calculation actually and budgetly for X1, X2 and X3. So what about actual sales for revenue? Actual sales revenue for X2, this is my actual, and also this is my actual sales revenue for X3. By the same way, we can calculate budgeted sales revenue for X1, 3,000 budgeted sales, 180 budgeted price, so budgeted revenue 540. And also X2 and X3. If I have correct calculations for actual and budget, or for actual and standard, if I speak about cost, from my point of view, the rest will be very simple because I have fixed equations to calculate the variances. Okay, regardless I speak about cost variances or sales variances. Okay, if concentrate with me, I have 7 variances when I speak about sales variances. Again, 7 variances. What is the first one? This is my table. This is my prepared table. The first one is budget variance. The budget variance is actual sales revenue and budgeted sales revenue. Again, actual sales revenue, budgeted sales revenue. Here, both of them from my table. I need what? Actual sales revenue. This is my actual sales revenue. Don't forget, we calculate actual sales revenue using actual sales units times actual price. Okay, and the second, budget. This is my budget. Again, budgeted sales revenue. So I will take my data from my table. But your problem is to remember the form of your equation to calculate budget variance. Okay, so very simple. I have 3 kinds of products, so there is no problem. What is the budget variance for X1? For X1, I need what? Yes, 574, 750, and for budgeted, here I have, yes, 540,000. The difference, don't forget, again, don't forget, I speak about sales revenue. If the difference is positive, will be favorable. If the difference is negative, will be unfavorable. I speak about revenue. Okay? This is how to calculate the budget variance for all products. Here I have positive means favorable for X1, positive, favorable for X2, but negative for X3. The total of them here, I mean the total of budget variance of the company, positive, 116,000, favorable. This is my first level. Again, I have 4 levels. The first one is one variance, is the total variance of budget. Okay? The second level, we analyze this budget variance into 2 variances. If you remember me, what is the second one? Yes, sales price. Again, sales price. When I speak about sales price variance, yes, Sales price variance means actual price minus budgeted price. Again, actual price, like sales variance, like the price variance in direct material. There we speak about actual price minus standard price. Here we speak about actual price and budgeted price times actual sales units. Again, actual sales units. I think there is no big difference between the quantity variance for direct material and the sales price variance here for sales variances. The difference is there we speak about actual quantity, here we speak about actual sales units. Okay, I need three amounts from my table. Now the first one is what? Yes, actual price. This is my actual price. Budgeted price. This is my budget. And actual sales units. These actual sales units. Two of them actual, red color here, and one only for budgeted here, blue color. Okay, for example, for X1 actual price, yes, 190 minus what? Budgeted price 180 times actual sales units. My actual sales units for X1 here 3,025. Okay, this is my sales price variance for all products. Again, for all products for X1, X2 and X3. The total of them, maybe some of them positive here, favorable, and negative, unfavorable. For revenue, again for revenue, this is my total. Positive means favorable, 13,750. Okay, again up till now we calculate the budget variance, and we analyze the budget variance into two variances. The first one is sales price variance, and second is what? Yes, sales volume variance. Sales volume variance. How to calculate sales volume? Sales volume is sales units. Here I speak about actual sales units minus budgeted sales units times budgeted price. Again, volume variance, difference between units. I begin with actual minus budget here. So I need what? I need actual again, and actual sales units. I need budgeted sales units, difference between units, times, yes, budgeted price. Like quantity variance in direct material. Actual quantity minus standard quantity times standard price. Okay? Here, instead of actual quantity, we say actual sales units. Instead of standard quantity, we say budgeted sales units times, instead of standard price, we say budget price. It's the same. Again, the same skeleton and the same background of equation like direct material variance. Okay? For example, for X1, I need what? I need actual, see it. 3,025 minus 3,000 times 180. Again, times 180. Okay? This is the sales variance. Again, sales volume variance for the all products. All products. The total here is positive 102,000 here, 250. Okay, don't forget the first level is budget variance. The second level, yes, analyze the budget variance into sales price and sales volume. So don't forget. So when I speak about budget variance, the budget variance is the first level. Must equal again. Must equal what? Again? Yes, must equal total of sales price and sales volume. Again, sales price and sales volume. So if I calculate the total of sales price variance here, positive 13,750 favorable, and sales volume here, I will find the total is, yes, positive 116,000 favorable. It is the budget variance. Okay, you have to check your answer. I analyze budget variance into two kinds of variances. Okay, the third level, again the third level, I analyze the volume variances. Sorry, the volume variance. Okay, we analyze the volume variance to sales mix variance. Again, sales mix variance. How to calculate sales mix variance? It looks like the mix variance for direct material quantity variance. Okay, the sales mix variance is the difference between actual sales units minus actual sales using budgeted mix percentage. Again, budgeted mix percentage times budgeted price. Here in my table, I have actual sales units and I have budgeted price, but my problem is how to calculate actual sales using budgeted mix percentage. Again, if you remember my first way, direct material variance analysis, and if you remember the performance report in cost variances, you can remember what I will do in the next slide. Okay, yes, I have three kinds of units here. Actual sales units from my table. Number 3, budgeted sales units from my table also. And number 2, in the middle, I want to calculate, yes, actual sales using the budgeted mix percentage. Again, using budgeted mix percentage. I have actual sales for each product and the total of them 5,500, and I have budget, both of them given here 5, but my problem number 2, how to recalculate the actual sales using budgeted mix percentage. So I have 3 steps. What is the first one? Yes, this is the first one. I need the total actual sales. What is the second step? This is my second step. I need to calculate the budgeted mix. I will take the total of number 1, and from number 3 I have to calculate the percentage. How to calculate the percentage? If you remember, very simple. Here the total of budgeted sales, the total is 5,000, x1 3,000. So how to calculate the percentage for x1? Yes, 3,000 divided by 5,000. Again, 3,000 divided by 5,000 will equal 60%. For x2, Yes, 1,500 divided by 5,000. Okay, will equal 30%. And the rest, I mean x3, only 500 divided by 5,000 will equal 10%. You have to remember that total of percentages must equal 100. Okay. Here I have the total of actual sales, and I have the percentage, so it's very simple to recalculate the actual sales using my percentage. My actual sales 5,500. What about x1? 5,500 times, yes, times 60%. So if I recalculate x1 using the budget percentage, yes, 3,300. 3,300 is what? Is 5,500 times 60%. What about x2? It's the same, but I will use the percentage of x2, I mean 30%. So 5,500 times 30%, yes, and also for x3, and also for x3. This is how to calculate the actual sales using budget mix percentage. See, here I have 3 kinds of information. I mean 3 kinds of units. Actual units and actual units using budgeted mix percentage and budgeted units. Okay, I will use the difference between 1 and 2 to calculate mix variance, and I will use the difference between 2 and 3 to calculate sales quantity variance. Again, sales quantity variance. Okay, actual sales minus actual sales using budgeted mix percentage is sales mix variance, but actual sales at budgeted mix percentage minus budgeted sales, yes, sales quantity variance. Okay, again I repeat for 100 times, my problem in variances analysis is how to calculate correctly the amounts. Okay, yes, after calculating the different units of sales, it's easy to me now to calculate the sales mix variance. Again, from my previous slide, I need actual sales, or I can get it from my table, but actual sales at budget mix percentage is calculated. Again, is calculated. Here I have the sales mix variance for x1, x2, and x3, and the total of them for the company. Okay, if I calculate 6 mix variance, it's easy to calculate the next variance, not sales mix but sales quantity. Again, sales quantity, the difference between 1 and 2 is sales mix variance, but the difference between 2 and 3, if you remember, yes, the difference between 2 and 3, this sales quantity variance. Sales quantity variance will equal actual sales at budgeted mix percentage minus budgeted sales units times, in all my equations I will use budgeted price. Again, budgeted price. From my information from previous slides, it's very simple to calculate sales quantity. For example, for x1, sales at mix percentage, actual sales for x1 3,300 minus 3,000 is x1 budgeted sales, So here times budget price. Well, I have budget price and I have budgeted sales from my table. But your problem, if you remember, how many units for actual sales at budgeted mix. This is my quantity variance. Don't forget, I am in the third level. In the third level, I analyze the volume variance to mix and quantity. So I have to check my answer. Sales volume variance. Again, sales volume variance must equal what? Sales mix and sales quantity. Again, sales mix and sales quantity variances. Okay? The fourth level begins from the end of third level. I mean, I will reanalyze sales quantity variance. Again, sales quantity variance into two variances. The first one is market size variance. And the second, number 7, will be market share variance. Again, market size. Here I have a new equation to calculate the market size variance. I need 4 kinds of information. Again, I need actual market size. Again, actual market size, for my industry, for my community, budgeted market size. The difference between market size variance, I want to speak market size, actual minus budget. Market size, so actual market size minus budget market size, like any equation for any variance, times budgeted market share. Again, budgeted market share times weighted average of budgeted price. Again, weighted average, weighted average for all products, not for only one. Okay? So I need to know how to calculate actual market size. It's given here. Budget market size, it's given also. But how to calculate budgeted market share of the company? I need my share in the market of the budgeted and weighted average. So if you want to calculate the market size variance here, you have to know how to calculate, budgeted market share and weighted average of budgeted price. This is my 4 amounts to calculate my variance. At the top of this slide, part of given information here, actual industry, it's my actual market size here, 137,500. Budgeted market size here, budgeted industry sales units here, 100,000. So 1 and 2 are given, but what about 3? I need to calculate budget market share. I have equation to calculate budget market share. Budget sales of the company divided by budget market size. Again, budget sales of the company, the total of budget sales of the company of all products, divided by budget market size. If you remember, budget sales units, 5,000 and budget market size here I have number 2, budget market size is 100. So the budget market is 100, but my share in this market according to my budget is only 5. So I can say the percentage of budget market share will equal 5%. Again, will equal 5%. How to calculate budget market share? Budget sales units divided by budget market size. Budget market size. How to calculate weighted average of budgeted price? I will not say that you hear before about calculating weighted average in partnership or in incorporation. No. The very simple to calculate weighted average of budgeted price. This is my equation. I need budget sales for the budget sales units for x1 times the price for x1, all of them budgeted, and budget sales units of x2 times the price of x2, plus if I have x3, budget sales units of x3 times the price of x3 if I have x4, etc. Okay, the value divided by the units. Here budget sales units for x1 plus budget sales units for x2 plus budget sales units for x3, etc. Okay, so I will use the value divided by the units. Okay, the sales value according to budget sales revenue, again budget sales revenue divided by units. So I can calculate these amounts from my table, again from my table, not to recalculate it again using the equation. I have a column for budgeted units and the column for budget sales revenue, so I can calculate the weighted average using the total of sales revenue budgeted, the total of sales units budgeted, to get weighted average. Okay, here if I calculate, the weighted average will equal 199. Again 199. Okay, here I have actual market size, budgeted market size, budgeted market share, and weighted average. All of them, I need them to calculate my variance. Don't forget, the variance is market size variance. This is the equation of market size variance, and I have market size actually 135,500 minus 100 is the budgeted market size times 5%, my budget share, times 199 is my weighted average. Here I have positive, again 137,500 minus 100, the difference is positive 37,500 times 5% times 199 will equal positive 373,125 favorable. Okay, the last variance in our map to analyze variances for sales is market share variance. Again, market share. From the title, market share shows the difference between actual share and budget share. Here, actual market share minus budgeted market share times actual market size and weighted average of budgeted price. Again, actual market share, budgeted market share. I don't have actual market share, but I have budgeted market share when I calculate the previous variance, if you remember. Actual market size, I have actual market size and I have also weighted average. I calculate weighted average and I calculate budgeted market share when I calculate the market size variance number 6 and the variance number 6, I mean. Okay, so what is the rest to calculate market share here? Here I have to calculate actual market share. If you remember how to calculate budget market share, I will use the same equation, but instead of using budgeted amounts, I will use actual amounts. Yes. How to calculate actual market share? Actual sales divided by actual market size. By actual sales, this is my actual sales of all products, again, for all products. 5,500, and here also I have the market, actual market. Here I have from the top of my slide here, the percentage will equal 4%. Again, 4%. What about budget market share? If I don't have the budget market share, I have to calculate by the same equation, but instead of actual sales, I will say budget sales divided by budget market size. But in previous variance, I mean market size, we calculate the percentage here. It's not given, but it's calculated 5%. Actual market size, here I have actual market size and weighted average. If you remember, 199 is calculated, again calculated. The total budget sales revenue divided by the total of sales units, budgeted sales units. Okay, if I have market share actually and budgetedly, and I have actual market size and weighted average, I can calculate the last kind of variances, market share. This is the actual market share here, 4% minus 5%, so the difference is negative 1% times 137,500 and times the weighted average here 199. So because the difference between the share percentage is negative, so here I have negative. Don't forget, in force level, again in force level, here I speak about sales quantity variance will be divided into two kinds of variances. So yes, so the market size and the market share variances must equal quantity variance, must equal quantity variance. Okay, these my reasons for sales variances, maybe price, maybe quantity, maybe mix, maybe share. I have to go behind these reasons and correct any reasons for these mistakes, so these variances I mean. Okay, after finishing analyzing all variances for the 4 levels of sales variances analysis, we can summarize. Again, we can summarize all my solution in our map. Do you remember our map? Yes, the first level is with budget variance. This is my budget variance here. Again, my budget variance. What are the reasons of this variance? Okay, positive, 116 favorable. Okay, the reasons in the second level, the reasons are two: the sales price and the sales volume. For sales volume in third level, the reasons are two also: maybe mix, maybe quantity. For the last level, the quantity will be divided into two. Yes, market size and market share. This is our map for analyzing the sales variances analysis using sales price. Don't forget, I can recalculate these variances using contribution margin. Again, I can calculate the variances using sales price or contribution margin. Today, I have finished speaking about how to analyze sales variances using sales price. In next lecture, بإذن I will repeat again the same equations, the same variances, the same map using contribution margin. Okay? Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.